What's going on today, YouTube? It's the day before Christmas Eve. The tank has reached a milestone. We've hit the 1 year mark. So I figured I'd give you a quick view of what's in this tank and what makes it tick. So strap in, this could be a long one.
Did he say strap in or strap on?
But we'll get through it. So okay, the tank has reached its 1 year milestone. If you're new to the channel, you've never seen this tank before. This is a 180 gallon tank. I have no idea what brand it is. I kind of bought it secondhand off of somebody who was tearing down their old system. So I scooped it up for about 300 bucks. Took about 6 months to get this thing completely the way I wanted it. As far as I had to redo the seals. It was already drilled, I guess, to be a peninsula style tank, so I, instead of making it a peninsula, kind of turned it into a conventional aquarium. But the plumbing, it's one thing I would change. I really don't like my setup here. Kind of looks ugly, but it works. I have an overflow on the back there. I did have to drill the tank to accommodate the overflow, and I have it set up in a bean animal style as far as the drains go. What's running this system? I've got some Jabo. I've got a Jabo wave maker, a gyre style, and just a regular Jabo power head. I do have an MP40 on each side of my overflow, and tucked in the back here is a Tunzi wave maker, just to give it some added flow across the back. Lights, I am currently running 4 Kessel A360s and 2 T5 fluorescents with, you can't really see that, but it's just a 2 bulb, just to give it some added light. I'm running the Blue Plus and the Coral Plus as far as the T5 bulbs are concerned. The heart of the system is my Apex setup. I am running this more as a monitor instead of a controller. I don't like the thought of one piece of equipment controlling the entire setup. The only thing that the Apex is controlling right now is the dose, which is dosing my alkalinity and calcium. Here you can see I've got my wave maker setups and my Kessel. And there's the brain, the heart of the system, and then I have just one of these handy dandy little toggle switch to control certain things, because like I said, I don't really want to have everything running on one piece of equipment. So to all you gearheads out there, I apologize, but I just don't want to go down that rabbit hole. So under the hood here, I am dosing B-ionic as far as my alkalinity and my calcium. I also run magnesium. This guy here is run on a simple Camor single head dosing pump. This is my rat's nest. I am currently working on straightening all this out. It's the one part of this tank that I really don't like, but it takes a lot of work, so slowly I'm working on it. As far as underneath here, this is my main line, comes down into just a filter sock, which I've got hanging on a little hook. Works out perfectly. I made this sump myself. This is a 55 gallon Aqueon tank from Petco. All I did was put some baffles in here with aquarium, yeah, that stuff. Anyway, I put the baffles in there and silicone, that's the word I'm looking for. Silicone them all in there, and that's what it looks like. As far as my skimmer, this is a Aquamax Cones Q3, I believe. This has been in here for about a month. I did just do a video on it. I love this skimmer. It is pulling out just absolute nastiness, as you can see. So we like that. Having to clean this probably about every 2 weeks or so. I did install, I don't know if I can see it. Yeah, not really. There's a little sensor in there that is connected to the power supply at the apex, so if this thing tries to overflow, it'll shut itself off and save me the headache of not having an overflowing skimmer. In the middle section here I have my Refugium. It's kind of hard to see with the glass being so dirty, but I'm just growing Ato in there. This light comes from Amazon. It is mostly a violet spectrum, 25 bucks. It grows Ato like you wouldn't believe. So I'm happy about that. Next I have my homemade algae scrubber. Another one of these lights from Amazon. Some PVC pipe, some plastic screening from Hobby Lobby. And this runs for about 8 hours. It turns on at midnight and shuts off at 8 in the morning. For anybody out there wondering, yes, for 10 bucks you can have an algae turf scrubber that mass produces algae. Very simple setup. I actually stole this from Travis over at Fish a Hex. He made one of these that was similar, and I was just like, hey, that's a great idea. So I tried it, and yeah, I love it. Next we flow into the return chamber. There is a media block in there that's been in there from day one. Thinking about changing it out soon, but I don't really want to mess with the system because everything's going so well. My return pump, this is a Jabo DC 12000, and it runs all the plumbing and the manifold, which the manifold is controlling my UV sterilizer, which is all the way in the back there. That's just a Coral View UV sterilizer. Not going very expensive on my equipment. It's also running this BRS reactor. Right now I just have carbon in there. No other, I don't have GFO or anything like that running. It's just carbon, which I change out once a month. And then for my overflow, I'm using the Duetto Ato. Absolutely love this. When I bought it, it was only like 100 bucks. I think they're like $130 now. But yeah, it has never let me down. And let's see, my reservoir, I just have a 20-gallon aquarium as my reservoir. And the last part of the apex system, I do run a Trident, which keeps a good eye on my alkalinity and calcium and magnesium. I do have this thing set up to automatically dose based on the Trident results. I've been doing that for probably about 6 months now, and it has been spot on. I know a lot of people talk about the alkalinity and the calcium and all that. They get different readings from what their HANA checker says, and you know, my HANA checker says that my alkalinity is 9.5 and the Trident says that it's 9.0. I'm happy with that. You know, I'm looking for stability, not exact numbers. So my alkalinity fluctuates between 8.95 and 9.01, and it stays like that. So that, I think, is the measure of stability. I'm not too concerned with the numbers. So let's see. What else do we got going on here? Let me put a filter on so we can get rid of some of these blues. So if you've seen any of my videos on my channel before, you know that when I got this tank up and running, I had coral in here from a smaller tank that I kind of converted over. Most of those did not survive because I had a massive dino outbreak at about month 3 in this tank. You can go back and see the video on that. The only thing that really survived was my softies, which you can see the majority of them here. This is my softie side of the tank. He's not happy today for some reason. But I waited it out as far as the dinos go. About 6 months into this tank, it was pretty bare. Just the softies. And then all of a sudden, all my fish started dying. I had some sort of disease go through the tank and wipe out just about every fish that I had. I had about 25 fish in here, and at the end of it I was down to 5 fish, and those 5 are still alive. They're still in here. There's one of them, my yellow damsel. But I have slowly over the past 2 or 3 months started replenishing my fish and my corals. So let's take a closer look at what I got going on here. As far as on this side of the tank, my corals, this is mostly softies on this end. I do have a Duncan, a Monopora that's starting to grow. I just put that in there about a month ago. Tiny little frag that kind of chipped off from the rest of the group. So I mounted him over here and thought, hey, let's see if he grows. And he's growing. He's encrusting on the rock. What else? My Acan. This is one of the few survivors from the dino outbreak. Tucked in the back there behind the Duncan, that's a trumpet coral. He's another survivor. In the back we just have some Recordia mushrooms and a toadstool long polyp. No tank is complete without the neon toadstool. And this guy down here is normally like a brown photobombed. He's a brown long tentacle toadstool. Then we have the this is supposed to be a weeping willow toadstool. I don't know if he's ever going to be truly a weeping willow, but I love this guy. His tentacles are so long. He's kind of a pinkish with white tips. I'm sure the video isn't going to show the coloration all that great. In the back here we have a finger leather. I just have him glued to the back wall. He loves life back there. And then we've got some Recordias, a green Recordia. This on video probably looks orange, but it is bright pink. There's a rainbow Recordia. This is another one on the video. It looks orange, but it is yellow, like a golden yellowish color. This is a Yuma. Another toadstool. Let's see, down near the sand bed here, this is my Godspawn bounce mushroom. Absolutely love this. Then I have another Acan. And some various zoas hanging out. I'm not really a huge fan of zoas, but these are some of the more common ones. There's some Sunny D's, some Dragon Eyes, some Halle Berries, I believe. Those guys there. And that's pretty much it for the softies. Oh, I do have this Zoa rock here. It's not doing so hot. I did have some Twizzlers on there, but for some reason they melted over the last couple months. But there's some Jason Fox Stargazers, some radioactive Dragon Eyes. There's my favorite fish. So, just some more Zoas. What else do we got? We got a clam. This is just a Durasa clam that I got from Petco. It was the size of about a quarter when I got it, and he's definitely grown up. This guy, this is the bane of my existence. I wish I never would have put him in there. This is a rose bubble tip anemone, or rainbow bubble tip, I'm not sure which, but he takes up so much real estate in my rockscape. Yeah, I wish I could move him out, but he's just so happy, and of course the clownfish loves him, so he's staying for now. What else do we got? This is my, these are supposed to be pulsing xenia, but they don't really pulse. They just kind of sit here on their own little island, and I just decided to keep them there because they're kind of pretty. They get nice movement in the flow there, and I just leave them there. Now we'll get into some of the hard corals. On the back wall here I've got a purple Monty and a red Monty. Of course it looks orange. And then I just threw some GSP in the middle just to kind of color balance everything. Some of my new acros, these have been in here for about 6 weeks, and I'm sure this video is not going to do them any justice as far as color. The one in the back there is a limeade shortcake, and then this guy up front is a purple tip candle something or other. I don't know. It's bright purple with green polyps, and under the actinic lights it just pops something fierce. And the shortcake back there, I'm just loving the coloration. It's got green and purple and white polyps, and it's just awesome to look at under the actinics. My controversial coral, this is a Hollywood Stunner. Kind of have him right in the middle of my rockscape. I'm hoping that he will either plate out or cup, so that I have a nice little centerpiece there. I know a lot of people say that the sweeper tentacles will kill everything. Well, he's not really around anything right now that his sweepers can hit. I've only ever seen his sweepers out once, so hopefully he does what I want him to do. He's encrusting nicely. He was just a normal 1-inch frag when I got him, and he is just taking off here. So we got a neon green trumpet coral. And let's see, the green slimer, Acropora, he's been in here for about 6 weeks. He's got some nice little growth going on. I'm hoping that he fills up this entire area here. Right there, this is my newest frag. This is a Jason Fox solar flare. He's been in the tank for about a week, and nice polyp extension. Looks like we're getting a little bit of growth on the top there. Some red Monty, some bird's nest, some more Monty in the back, a Grub's Gorgonian, and some Micromusa just hanging around on the rocks. This is some sort of Lobo. He's been in there for about 4 months. Not a lot of growth, but he's alive and he's doing well. Some more Micromusa in the back there, a Blasto Merletti. Let's see, we got a purple Stylo on the top there. $500 plating FO Miyagi Tort. Can't really see the colors on it, but it is just an awesome purple and green. A red planet, which I just got about a week ago, starting to color up nicely. What else? Green stag, a LA Lakers scroll coral, some green star polyps on their own little island, some platies. Tucked in the back there I have a rock anemone, a couple more softies over here, And just some random, that's a Monopora branching Monty in the middle there, some more bird's nest, a blue stag in the back there. I just got these corals yesterday. It's a Pinky and the Bear and an ORA frog skin. So they're on the frag wreck, kind of acclimating. And then last but not least, we got a Dragon Sulfavia, which I just got a couple weeks ago as well. So that's it for the corals. As far as my fish go, we've seen this guy before, sailfin. We've got my cardinal, that's a flame cardinal, and a Clarky clownfish. Of course, no tank is complete without Dory, but this is my boy Blue. A foxface. Absolutely love this fish. His name is Rooney. Who else we got down here? Of course, my yellow Watchman Goby, always watching. And then just some random, I have a green chromis. He is one of the survivors of the Great Purge. My firefish, he is also a survivor of the Purge. I just added some Bangai Cardinals. There's 3 of them in the tank. They don't really hang out together. They just kind of separate and do their own thing around the tank. There's my 6-line wrasse, which if I could ever catch them, yeah, I might pin them to the wall and make an example out of them. That fish is the devil. I cannot stand that fish. My wife loves that fish, and that's the only reason that he's still in here. He is just a bully. He goes after every fish in the tank, except for the yellow damsel. Him and the yellow damsel are kind of buddy-buddy. And who else do I got in here? I have a trigger. This is a blue throat trigger. I named him Gollum because all he does is sit in this cave and he only comes out to feed, and he's kind of grayish with his silver chin, and he looks like Gollum from Lord of the Rings. So yeah, I named him Gollum. And that's it as far as my fish are concerned. I don't think I forgot anybody, but the tank is coming along nicely. Figured I would do a quick video just to show you what 1 year of progress has meant to me. Things are going well, knock on wood. Hopefully things stay nice and stable. I gotta say, the addition of the Apex has truly changed the whole outlook of this tank. I couldn't get SPS to grow whatsoever because there was such a fluctuation with my calcium and my alkalinity. 1 or 2 points, up and down all the time, because I was only testing once a week. And with that Neptune dose and the Trident controlling my dosing, controlling my testing, it has taken such a burden off of me as a reef keeper, so that I can focus on a lot of maintenance. I can focus more on just watching the tank grow instead of constantly having to test, constantly having to worry about my parameters. The only thing I really test on this now is my nutrients. My nitrate is at 11 and my phosphate is at 0.06. So those have stayed like super steady as well. I do feed pretty heavy in this tank. Twice a day is pellets and or flakes, and then just about every night a big cube of my own fish food that I make, just to keep these fish fat and happy. I do feed nori every other day, a strip of nori for the tangs and the foxface. They just devour it in a matter of minutes. But to me that's pretty heavy feeding, so I do have the heavy export with the skimmer, the Refugium, and the algae turf scrubber. Maybe I'm lucky, maybe I'm good, I don't know, but things are going very well, and I'm gonna try not to upset the apple cart because things are growing, especially these acropora. I love seeing the fact that I'm getting growth tips on just about every acropora. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep it hands off as possible. You know, I try to keep my hands out of the tank. I try not to mess with my aquascape. I just let things grow and let nature run its course. So yeah, 1 year in, that's a quick look at the tank. If you like this video, feel free to hit that thumbs up, and if you like this content, feel free to subscribe. I'm always looking for new subscribers. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below, and I'll try and look up links to all my equipment and leave them in the description. But happy 1 year anniversary from Cue Balls Reef, and I will keep updating you in the future. Peace.